Welcome to the sofa. I'm Sherry.
I'm Bonnie, and this is the Sisters Hallmark Sip and Chat podcast.
We're a couple of crown heads who love all things Hallmark. Welcome back to the sofa, everyone. We're so glad to be back after a brief hiatus with season 4 of our podcast.
It's the first week of Hallmark's 2025 season of Countdown to Christmas on the W channel. And as we did in season 3, this season we've chosen 3 movies we are most looking forward to watching. Sherry, what are your top 3 most anticipated movies of the season?
My first pick is She's Making a List. I'm a huge Lacey fan, and this story looks so sweet. My second one is Holiday Touchdown, a Bills love story. We're a huge football family, and last year was my team with the Chiefs, and this year is our daughter's team. So, really looking forward to that. And my third pick this year is Oh to the World. Miss Christmas, as we know her, is one of my other favorite actresses, and I love when they include other faiths. So, I'm really looking forward to my top 3. How
Those
about
are
you, Bonnie?
solid 3 choices. My top 3, the first one is An Alpine Holiday, because I love a movie that's set on location. I just feel like it adds to the authenticity, and I get to see a place I've never been to before, most likely. My second choice is Merry Christmas, Ted Cooper. This one just looks like so much fun, and the 2 actors are 2 of my favorite Hallmark actors, so I'm looking forward to that. And my final one, Three Wisest Men. I've thoroughly loved watching this series, and I'm looking forward to the latest installment.
That is a great series that they did. I agree. Okay. Once again, we will be sipping our drinks while we talk about our movies. This week, we'll be sipping sparkling Cran-Apple cider and chatting about the 3 movies: Season's Greetings from Cherry Lane, A Royal Montana Christmas, and A Christmas Angel Match.
Okay, movie number 1, Season's Greetings from Cherry Lane, starring Jonathan Bennett as Mike, Annabelle Bork as Joan, Corey Cott as Charlie, Shannon Cook as Luke, and Vincent Rodriguez III as Zian. For 3 families, 7 Cherry Lane is more than an address. It's the home where pivotal moments of their life and love happen as they celebrate a Christmas that changes their lives forever. The first Christmas as a married couple, the last Christmas before heading to the war front, and the Christmas where the true spirit of Christmas is experienced, sending ripples through the years and in the hearts of each homeowner of 7 Cherry Lane. Let's find out how this movie rated on our sofa rating system. But first, a quick explanation. Our custom sofa rating system includes a list of 20 Hallmark tropes broken down into 10 categories that will determine how Hallmark is this movie. You can download the list from our website and social pages. This movie earned 15 out of 20 sofas, and the categories are military might, location, family and friends, unexpected hiccups, Christmas magic, and bonus 5 extra sofas for highlighting a charitable event.
I can't even imagine losing a family member. I mean, airports are crazy to pick people up, even when you don't know what you're going to, what sets you're picking them up, and being late is not acceptable. Like, the airports is a crazy place. But having
Mhm.
Zane's grandfather not knowing where the heck he's going, or at least us thinking that he doesn't know where he's going and getting dropped off at the wrong place, was terrifying to watch. Mind you, that isn't the way it worked out. But having Zane's grandfather brought to his family made myself and my husband tear up with such joy. That was so great to see family together and to be able to build a Christmas miracle kind of thing. So that was really great. But the whole losing him at the airport, that was terrifying.
I thought the grandpa at the airport portion was like the slapstick cute part of the movie. I actually thought it was funny and I totally enjoyed it. I mean, we knew he was going to make his way back to 7 Cherry Lane because he knew he had to go to Cherry Lane, like right off the bat, but we just didn't know how and by whom. And so that's kind of a mystery, which I love a mystery. So I was all in for it.
So true. Holiday traditions are very important to my family, as I am sure it is for many families. I can relate to having to learn to compromise with your in-laws' traditions because, of course, We like Christmas set up 2 months ahead of time, and my husband's family were doing a real tree on Christmas Eve and decorating it on Christmas Eve, because that's when everyone was there. So even though things are different, we learn how to compromise. So even though the story started with the in-laws at odds here, it was wonderful that they all came together to celebrate. I love
Hmm.
that um, instead of always having to do separate Christmases, they did it all together. That was really nice because I can remember packing up the kids to go from home to home to home. So I thought that was really nice.
And I think, it's a lot to host Christmas anyway, but especially when everyone has their own cherished traditions that they want to observe, which of course they do, right? And it's
Mm.
particularly true for parents who have to get used to their adult children are now starting their own lives and their own traditions. And I really enjoyed how the new tradition they created, this couple, the Christmas card wreath, ended up being carried through the story to a future homeowner. I thought it was so clever. I really enjoyed that part.
It was really good. I actually considered using old Christmas cards with my picture for my drink for this one because I thought, oh, that really goes with it. But then it only highlighted one movie. The Christmas card story was awesome. And the most romantic thing I've ever heard of, him writing those cards to his wife, I
Hmm.
love that. When the card came to the new people many years later, I couldn't even help myself. I started to cry.
Hmm.
We need to know if he ever came home. I'm sure there's
I
more in the
know.
storylines. We still have 2 more episodes of this to
Yep.
go, but we need to know this because we now know that he saved the grandfather, which was a major
Yep.
connection. And not just that they're living in the home, there's that outside connection. And then this book that was written about the Christmas cards, that was intriguing. They clearly showed that Joan made a book. I
Hmm.
love that neighbors stepped in to help when that couple really needed it too. The
Yeah.
husband was overwhelmed, the wife had a broken arm. Like, I know it's hard for people to ask for help, but it really isn't a sign of weakness.
Absolutely not. Certainly not in that situation where, it was such a pivotal time and they needed help and people stepped up and were charitable and they helped them. Um, I love the Christmas card storyline too. And for anyone out there who is like me and a fan of the Hallmark Postables series, Signed, Sealed, and Delivered, they would have been clued in immediately when they saw that the show's Norman was the mailman in this movie. So I knew something special was being dropped off in that mailbox because the Postables, the main focus of that whole show is to reunite lost mail with its intended recipient. And it's a fantastic show. I love it. And I love when Hallmark does these little nods to other Hallmark movies or series in these new ones. It's just so cool. I really, really appreciated that.
That is such a good point that you pointed out. I wouldn't even have thought of that. I'm really excited, as I mentioned, because I want to know what the
Mm-hmm.
rest of the story that we missed. And obviously, there were people that were big characters in last year's episode that are still to come that we haven't seen again. So I'm really excited to see the next episodes in this series, and I'm glad to see the other players in the first one. We'll have a closer look into their lives, and the consistent neighbor, that woman, she's great.
Yeah.
Like, she's been since the first one, she's still there, like, I mean, I know they've aged her a little with the gray, but, like, this woman's, like, lives eternal almost, like, the way they have this set up, like, it's great, I love it.
Yeah, she's definitely their voice of wisdom on the street for
Mhm.
sure. And this is, like you, definitely one of my favorite installment series of the Hallmark Christmas movies that they have. Each storyline was handled with care, it's heartfelt, and always gives me the warm fuzzies.
My personal thought in this particular movie is the meaning that they taught us that perfect Christmas is not about the decorations and the stuff or the food, it is the people. Being with the people who are your family by blood and the family members, AKA friends, that are family by choice.
Yes, in my opinion, the best Christmases are spent in the company of those you love, no matter the time or the place or the presents or the food on the table. It will always be the memory of the people that stays with me.
Okay, movie number 2, A Royal Montana Christmas. This one's starring Fiona Gubelman, Victoria, and Warren Christie as Huntley. Victoria, Princess of Zolarnia, needs a break before taking over her mother's Grand Duchess's duties in January. She travels to the ranch in Montana her late father had taken her to as a child on a cherished father daughter trip. She expected a Christmas cowboy experience. She didn't expect to meet a handsome Christmas cowboy, Huntley, the ranch owner's son, but will the secrets they both hide keep them from building a real relationship? Hmm. This movie earned a whopping 17 out of 20 sofas, and the categories are Town Holiday Celebration, Clash of Classes, Location, 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 Family and Friends, Affairs of the Heart, and Big Life Changes. The bonus charity for the dance to support the volunteer firefighters.
So, Zelarnia to me sounds like the name of a planet rather than a country in Europe, I'm assuming, that apparently has very weak British accents. But seriously, I love a good royal romance and I look forward to watching them every season. The ranch, instead of a castle, this time we're at a ranch, it was a gorgeous backdrop for romance, but the romance itself to me seemed a little forced. It's like since they were the two attractive people there, so of course they would end up together. So it took me a bit to get into the actual romance of the movie, but the setting was stunning. So enjoyable to watch nonetheless.
I did actually really like the chemistry with these two stars. I did have a little trouble accepting her accent since I actually have no idea where Zarlaria, I don't know, I'm sure how to say it, would be
Zalaria?
therefore. Zalaria. So therefore I wouldn't even know how the accent should sound. So maybe it
Yeah,
was a good accent because they kind of made the whole thing up. But
true
the two
enough.
actors, I like them, but I agree with you that it did feel a bit forced.
Yeah, yeah. So the whole ranch thing, beautiful, but for me, there's no way mucking out horse stalls is going to be considered a vacation. But I know there are a lot of horse folk out there who love those majestic animals and really appreciate the hard work that goes into caring for them. And this would be totally their jam for a vacation.
Going to a real cowboy ranch for a holiday sounded like something I'd really love to do on my bucket list. Until I saw, as you said, some of those extremely hard work that you'd have to do with the poo poo and stuff. Thank goodness someone could do that, but not sure that would be my idea of a holiday either. I think I will keep my cowboy hats and boots for when I visit Nashville.
That is a very good idea. However, there was lots of really pretty things. The holiday festival at night was super pretty. I especially liked the light tunnel with the hanging stars that Huntley and Victoria worked on. That was extra lovely. I really enjoyed the moments with them talking about their struggles and being more open with each other. Those, for me, were some of the most entertaining scenes. So by the time we got to the dance, when that rolled around, I found it was a lot easier to see them as a couple at that point. And I absolutely loved when the dad and daughter were named Homecoming King and Queen. That was super sweet.
That was sweet. I agree with you because I do think it's very hard to start a new relationship when you have secrets. You can
Mhm.
just open the door for mistrust. But once they started to tell, he told about his baseball tragedy, and she finally told him that she was a princess, which like they seem to take fairly well. I would be like,
Mhm.
are you kidding me? Then I think they had a road to start building. However, the charity event for the volunteer firefighters, creating a dance, that now they're talking my language. The decorations and planning for the event would be totally something I would love to do, and she was very creative with her ideas. I really liked it a lot.
You would have been very good at that. I'm sure you had a great time with it. I have to say, this is the part where I just don't believe that she wouldn't know how to walk in heels and speak in public being royal her whole life. Like she would have been groomed since childhood. So that part just didn't start off the best way for me. Like, I could tell from that first Advent candle lighting, you could tell her sister was just more suited to the role, and she was just really not into it, which there is no shame in. Everyone deserves to find their joy in life, and she found hers on the ranch with Huntley.
Absolutely. I can relate to the idea of wanting to escape my life sometimes.
Mm.
Work can be very demanding, helping, caring for my grandkids, running a home, ensuring my husband's health's okay. But once I stop, take a breath, and remember just how blessed I am to have a wonderful family, a lovely home, and a job that I love, and this podcast that I get to do with my sister, I know how blessed I am.
Amen, sister. Movie number three, A Christmas Angel Match, starring Megan Ori as Monica and Benjamin Ayres as Michael. Bringing soulmates together in this distracted world we live in is a tough job. But if any two angels are up to the task, it's all about the depth Monica and all about the fun Michael. However, even with Christmas magic on their side, their differing styles may prove too challenging in their quest to bring two tender hearts together, especially Daisy and Patrick, who are more focused on looking down at their phones than looking up to meet their soulmate. So this movie earned a respectable 12 out of 20 sofas, and the categories are town holiday celebrations, location, 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 family and friends, affairs of the heart, big life changes, and Christmas magic.
Okay, so I have to say that a angel movie, I was surprised that there was no charity in this
Me too.
particular
I
movie.
have to say, I
That
agree with
didn't
you.
really connect for me. So, and I even said to my husband, "Did we miss it? Was there, but I didn't see it." The
No.
idea of angels around us, looking out for us, is a wonderful thought, and I actually pray that that is happening and that they are here helping us because that was kind of cool. I also thought it was really great that they did look at everything from our century's perspective of what things
Mm-hmm.
are really like. That was actually kind of cool.
That's true. I'm telling you, heaven seems a lot harder work than I expected. It seems, you know what I mean? Social media is putting a lot of pressure on, more than just us, apparently. It's bugging heaven too. But it is definitely comforting to think, of angels in heaven, up there guiding us to make good choices, good choices for our life, particularly as this world seems more and more out of kilter. That is a very nice and comforting thought.
I agree. I did think that this was a storyline that was kind of easy to identify early in the movie. I mean, it was still a lovely story how three couples got together, but I'm not an expert writer. And my husband and I kind of figured it out right from the beginning that the whole drama in heaven was because they were actually the couple that had to happen. But it's still a great story. But I of the 3, this one I could see right from the beginning. We always knew that the girl was the princess was gonna meet the guy. We didn't know that, but we didn't know how that was gonna work and what their troubles
Right.
were, where this one was a lot more obvious.
I agree. I think it is no surprise they end up having to work together in this, enemies to lovers trope that, is very popular. And Uh, so I wasn't surprised either. I agree with you. However, there were
Mhm.
some nice things in it. Like I like that they called people tender hearts instead of, just humans, the humans or whatever they call them, tender hearts, which is very nice. And I'm telling you, some of the stuff they did I thought was super cool. I would have been totally a sucker for that adorable, puppy station, even though it did spectacularly backfire on her. But that was a lot of things that would just ended up backfiring on both of them.
Okay, falling off the stage into the tree, you're gonna remember that guy
Yes,
for sure.
that's
Let
true.
me tell you, it might not have been the way they had anticipated, but you're not gonna forget him.
For sure.
So I personally have never been a great chess player, but I am totally intrigued and impressed by those that are experts. So I thought that was really cool that they kind of kept that in the line and even that
Hmm.
special gift that the gentleman gave to the was it her dad or her grandfather that gave to his
It was her grandfather and to his friend who kind of like adopted him
Pair of
after
them,
his
right?
parents passed,
That was
Elaine.
just so, so sweet. And that relationship blossomed super quick.
Yes, it did. Well, time is limited.
That's right.
So
That's right.
maybe they don't, want to put pause on anything. But I tell you, it was super, super cute. I agree with the chess thing. That was very cool to add. And I loved watching the Angels, watching Elaine teach Patrick to dance the foxtrot. And that was just as sweet as them, dancing the foxtrot. So both parts were so sweet. I just found it very wholesome. This even to her quote unquote swear word was biscuits, like,
Yeah.
oh, biscuit, it's just so wholesome and sweet. And that part I'm totally in for. I loved it.
Okay, it was funny that she'd never tried a hot chocolate, and even at the end when she finally did the order of it, no, still never
She didn't
tried
sip
it.
it. No.
But I don't know the rules, so I guess
Yeah, true
that's,
enough.
you have to do follow the rules. However, I did recognize that they utilized that bridge. That bridge is in so many of our favorite movies. So I really, really liked that they went back there and through the times back there. That was kind of cool. I like that.
That was cool. They did it was cool making a pivotal moment for sure. Yeah, just like getting that Patrick guy on track was a struggle. It was so much. I can see how much, see how with the amount of distractions in the world, we quote unquote tender hearts need a little push to see what is literally in front of our eyes. That whole two hearts beating as one. That was the quote that they said over it because that's what they desired. And in the end, it was such a sweet ending with Monica and Michael on that bridge, united
Yeah.
in love with that two hearts beating as one. It was a very sweet, wholesome movie. And yeah, it was not a lot of shockers, but it was cute and I totally
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
It was cute to have that a little bit of spiritual part into our
Yeah,
weekends. That
true
was nice.
enough. Mhm.
Okay, so how about our drink? That sparkling Cran-Apple cider. The drink for me looked really pretty. It was really easy to make, but just too tart. Not my type of drink. Not that I hate cranberries or anything, because I do eat dried cranberries, but I don't like to drink it.
Yeah, cranberry juice is a little bit tart, so I decided to use cranberry cocktail, and it turned out for me really tasty. And I actually have two glasses of it, so I would definitely make it again. It was super easy to make. It is a mocktail. You could easily dial it up to, being a regular cocktail. But it was super enjoyable just on its own. I think it was a perfect complement to the movies. So if you're looking for the recipe, check out our social media post to download the recipe. Well, fellow crown heads, we've come to the end of today's chat.
You can find all our episodes on your favorite podcast network.
And on our website, sistersipandchat.ca. Subscribe and never miss a chat session.
Thanks for listening. Join us next time.
And we'll save you a seat on the sofa.